Okay, so this is a 1992 Ferrari F40 and it looks amazing. So, for those who didn't know, the F40 only came in Rosso Corsa. So this is the car you see here. This car specifically is a Euro car that was actually bought from Japan and now it's here in Arizona. But this looks just stunning. So let's go through some of the cool details. First of all, I just want to point out, look at all the little various tags, qualifications, made in Italy, brands, everything that's just on the headlight itself is super interesting. You can see it gets all sorts of rock chips being as low as it is to the ground, pop-up headlights, beautiful Grotti wheels with Brembo brakes, latches, Ferrari shield, lots of more dirt getting pushed in through some of the functional brake cooling. Then, more importantly, I want to point out real fast, notice on the wing here, there's no F40 logo, but if we walk to the other side here, boom, F40. So only on the passenger side you'll actually see the F40 logo that'll tell you what it is and some of the thinner parts of the paint, versus on the F50, which would be the successor to this car, would actually come with some of the thinner paint where you'd even be able to see the carbon. So the F40 is a really cool car, mostly because it uses a version of the twin-turbo 2.9 liter V8 that would have come in the Ferrari the 288 GTO. And then it was put into this, and we have a hyper-focused race car platform with basically no compromises, no sound deadening or anything like that. So you're looking at about 471 horsepower, 0 to 60 in about less than 5 seconds, and then somewhere in the neighborhood of about 199 miles per hour. So this is a true supercar with a full carbon fiber body. You can see by looking in here, there's all sorts of carbon that's available and visible. Same thing with the interior. 6-speed gated manual in the interior as well. So over here, see some of the various transmission cooling, intercoolers for the turbos, 471 horsepower, a 2B exhaust on this one, and of course a transaxle for that 6-speed manual sitting in the back there. And then huge, massive tires on the back. More meat than Arby's. These are 335s in the rear. Needed for the turbo boost for when it kicks in, help keep the car with mechanical traction glued into the ground. Now, one of the cool parts is with the hatch up, you'll notice the taillights are actually up top. So there's these little contacts here. And so these contacts touch this part in the bumper, and that makes the electrical connection to be able to use all the taillights, which is a pretty cool feature. That's something that I didn't know about the Ferrari F40. But gosh, just looking at the construction and the way everything's done, it's very reminiscent of a lot of the Group B cars, which makes sense because the 288 GTO that this engine borrows from was actually used in the Ferrari 288 GTO. Rear-wheel drive, Ferrari F40, all the little bits on the inside. And you can see just a super narrow stick that connects in to hold the rear bonnet up. Mixed in, we got the oil filter up top. Beautiful. Almost no sound deadening in the car. These latches are fairly thin that hold up the rear. And the cool part is we have one gas filler on that side. If we walk around to the other side of the car, you'll notice there's another gas filler. So there's actually 2 gas tanks, but there's actually a tube that run across to the other side, so that way the gas tanks stay level, and then it has one fuel pump that's in the top left of the engine that then draws the fuel in and then moves it to the engine, which is a much better system. Things like the Bugatti EB110 also has 2 fuel tanks on each side, but unfortunately it runs 1 fuel tank to each cylinder bank, so then you have 2 gas lights of the EB110, which is kind of weird, but you don't have that problem in the F40. Man, this thing is gorgeous. So I mentioned earlier that every single F40 that was produced by the factory was finished in Rosso Corsa, which is what this color is. The sort of standard Ferrari or resale red, as it's sometimes jokingly referred to in the Ferrari community. So there were actually 7 cars that were made for the Sultan of Brunei, and those were modified. They were made right-hand drive. Obviously this one's left-hand drive. They made right-hand drive, and then they were sent to the Sultan, which is a pretty cool thing. But man, just look at this. It doesn't really get any more 80s than this. All of the intakes, it's nothing but basically pure functional Ferrari. Pop-up headlights, even though again you wouldn't, fairly subtle. Don't even notice them with the way they blend in. Wheels are fantastic, all the race car components, including some racing variants that would be later produced of the F40 LM. Take a longer look at the interior here. You can see styling by Pininfarina. And again, just look at the amount of carbon in here. Hand-rolled seats. Nothing you don't need. And a lot of these cars didn't even have, at least the US variants of the cars, didn't even have catalytic converters until 1990. Very cool. And the current market values as far as F40s go is you'll find these generally trading hands. Some cars are sold for as little as 2.1, some as much as 2.5, $2.75 million even. So that's just a quick look at some of the cool features of the Ferrari F40. Underside of the Ferrari F40, you can see motors for the pop-up headlights, more intakes, radiator fans, carbon for spare tire or luggage sets, more Ferrari boxes, headlights. Very nice. Casual Countach in the background.